everybody, a lot of people are looking at me like, this guy's crazy. Like he's thinking about the future. Like he's talking about the metaverse. And it's like, come on, we're in a little town, like, but what I'm doing is I'm trying to change that paradigm that everybody's in. Like, like we're nothing, a lot of people think like that over here.
Right.
And it sucks, man. Cause I mean, I've talked to kids that are like 7 years old and they're already like, this is it for me, like I can't do nothing. Like I'm stuck here, so that's my thing. I'm big on talking to kids, man. Like I want to like uplift the kids because, the older generation, you can talk to them and, some would kind of listen to you. But it's really hard to get somebody to really like shift their whole way of thinking. Hola, mi gente, Osmar Lopez with Entre Lagos Y Volcanes. We started off with activities. Now we're just Nicaragua, right? We're trying to just do it all.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you.
And that what I'm saying is like, I was running through some things and it was like, you got to have your something where it's like, when you just hear that, it's like, already, this guy's going to be advertising something, right?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Layup Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Munoz, and on today's episode, I had the honor to talk with Osmar Lopez, the founder of Activos Familiares, a financial literacy podcast with an urban twist for Latinos, and also the founder of Entre Lagos Y Volcanes, where they give tours to people visiting Nicaragua and any other needs that a tourist might have. Osmar helps people realize that they are much more than they think they are through his business and his podcast. Osmar and his team are innovating and facilitating Nicaraguan life with projects like paving streets so it's not all mud, and also giving it names, as well as financial literacy classes and any other way that they can to better his people. According to Osmar, as long as we have a connection, the opportunities are limitless. All this and more coming up right now. Tell us where you're joining us from. Let's just get started. And the things that you're doing, because that's the reason I wanted to have you on here, is because you're doing a lot of things, and you're a father. I saw while doing these things, and what's so special about you as well is that you're not in the US doing these things, right?
Right. Yeah. So I was born actually out here in Nicaragua, but I left when I was like 1 year old. And I was in California, out in San Jose. I was out there for like 20 plus years, like 22 years, something like that. I ended up getting deported. I say it, like whatever. I remember when I came over here to Nicaragua, my grandma was like trying to hide that, like she was like, this guy's on a long vacation, right? And I was like ready to tell people like I got deported, whatever. But anyways, I ended up coming out here in 2012. I'm going on almost 10 years of being out here. I've wasted a lot of time, really, because I passed like 7 years just pretty much partying, man. Over here, the environment is like, there's not really nothing to do. I'm not sure where you from.
I was born in Guatemala, and then it's similar, I was born in a pueblo. It's Parras. It's like in the valleys, just like a small place, right? Dirt roads. Now they don't have dirt roads, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean. There's like corner stores where all you do is like, just hang out. You can do is hang out and like drink with the guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, people are in a paradigm over here where they're just like, we'll just do the less possible and we'll just get by, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I was just, working. I've always been working, that's the thing about me. Like I was always like, I got to get a job, because that's like how I was raised, right? You got to always be maintaining your habits. I was out here drinking, acting a fool. So I wasted a lot of time, man. And I don't know, I was just, searching for different information. My son was born. And I think that had me do like a big time paradigm shift, I started messing up a lot, with my work. I was drinking, and I ended up, just really looking for self, help, books. And I ended up, finding myself, for real, like, it's like it's something hard. You know, everybody always says, you know, you gotta, you know, find yourself, and everybody's like, I know myself, but really it's like, do you really, you know, like how many, you know, how much have you been programmed, you know, to really just go with the flow, right? But anyways, I found myself, I stopped drinking, you know, I figured out that most of my, you know, mistakes and you know, losses that I was taking was because of alcohol. And that's just when I started, you know, looking up, you know, so everybody's always on social media, right? I ended up started following people that were actually inspiring, you know, instead of just looking at funny vines or, you know, stuff. So I came across Derek Grace. I don't know if you heard about him. Derek Grace. So I seen him, you know, he has his daughter taking a gun apart and, you know, different caliber weapons. But the thing is that like I started liking what he was saying, like about the family, right? We got to treat the family like a team. Like, I mean, we could be at a team at work and we'll be, you know, like die hard for that team at work. But then when it comes to the family, we kind of just slack off on it. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyways, I started seeing, you know, I started thinking different, and Nicaragua to me started looking like, you know, a big time, just virgin, you know, untouched potential, you know, and the whole Nicaragua is just like, and something clicked in me, man. And I was just like, whoa, like, I don't know if you've ever felt, I mean, I'm sure you felt like that.
Yeah. Just had like an epiphany. Just had it like,
yeah, just like you get like butterflies and like you start getting like, you know, your hair starts rising up. And I just started working at that, right? I started seeing things with, well, actually I wanted to go out and see some stuff like volcanoes and, you know, lakes. We got beautiful places out here. And when I wanted to go, you know, to places, I couldn't get a hold of people. Like I would try to get phone numbers for places and I couldn't get nothing. So I ended up having to go to places, and there I was getting like information. And then that's when I started thinking,
you had to like poke around for the information.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna start collecting that information, and I'm gonna put it up somewhere, right? So it went from activities to I got an opportunity to do like deliveries in my little town, to now I'm just trying to get every business information on every business, to try to get them like a space online. You know, a lot of people are looking at me like, this guy's crazy. Like he's thinking about the future. Like he's talking about the metaverse. And it's like, come on, we're in a little town, you know, like, but what I'm doing is I'm trying to change that paradigm that everybody's in. Like, you know, like we're nothing, you know, a lot of people think like that over here.
Right.
And it sucks, man. Cause I mean, I've talked to kids that are like 7 years old, and they're, you know, they're already like, this is it for me, you know, like I can't do nothing. Like I'm stuck here, you know? So that's my thing, you know, I'm big on talking to kids, man. Like I want to like uplift the kids, because, you know, the older generation, you can talk to them, and, you know, some would kind of listen to you. But it's really hard to get somebody to really like shift their whole way of thinking, you know?
And like, especially over there, like you gotta like walk them through a lot of things if they're not familiar with it, right? And that's what I love that you're doing, is you're introducing them to online, like the online economy, basically, right? And you're doing that as well as giving tours out. And what's the name of, you have Familia Assets and then Entre Lagos Y Volcanes, right?
Right.
Yeah. So no, that's exactly why you know, I wanted to have you on here, and just you're doing this in Nicaragua and teaching not only like the people around you, but also like kids that there's more to it than just what their eyes, you know, are used to, right? And like, so I wanted to know when did you have that like mindset like shift, right? Because it wasn't always like that, as you said. So when did it like click for you that okay, I need to stop like drinking, right? Concentrate on the future and the things, and building generational wealth and uplift the community while doing so, right?
It started well, you know, when I had that, you know, that shift of where, you know, I stopped drinking and I started like, you know, started really talking to myself. I still didn't really have that whole mindset that I have right now, right? I was still thinking kind of small, I was thinking like, okay, I want to do something, I want this generational wealth, that I'm hearing so much about. That's when I started reading. And reading is like a key, man. I think that that's very like underrated. Because a lot of things we know, a lot of things, but when you read it in a certain way where someone like explains it to you, it's like, oh wow, okay, this is powerful, right? Like I feel like sometimes I'm like, I can't believe I'm getting this information, from books that I'm reading. But that shift where I really wanted to where I figured out kind of what I wanted to do, because I started in English. I don't know if you've seen my videos before. Family assets, familia assets. I started in English, and I was like, okay, because I've talked to my friends over there in the States. I talked to my family in the States, and I would talk to them about stocks. I'll be like, okay, so what's up with you guys? You guys got some money saved up? You're thinking about stocks or anything? They're like, stocks? They go, that's a scam, like. Well, what's that? But I'm like, nah, man, you got to really look into it. You got to, what are you doing with your money? So, well, I give him the whole pitch, of like, hey, what are you doing? Like we got to be investing, doing something. But then I came across I was reading a book from Gary V, Crush It. So that book really helped me put into perspective actually of what it was that I wanted to do. Like, what did I feel was my purpose? And it also let me put a perspective of where my niche is, right? Is that how you say it? Niche.
I think niche.
So
it always gets me. It always gets me.
So I started thinking about, I was like, I can't be trying to, go towards the whole, I was trying to be like, well, I'm going to do this, go worldwide, right? Get like
Mr.
10
Worldwide.
views or something. So I go, no, man, I already got my little track going on, my foundation build over here in Nicaragua. And I started thinking, I'll go, who's the people that really need it? Like these, like my people out here is like, we really need it, man. Like we need it more than a lot of people out there in the States, but everybody really needs it because I mean, people in the States, I think that Latino culture is still has that kind of like, this is kind of a scam of investing. Right. And, that's just for the white people, the rich or something. So I don't know, man. Ever since I've read that book, I kind of put it more into perspective of that. I want to do Nicaragua. Once Nicaragua is rolling with me, I think that I could get more people kind of.
Definitely start in your own community with the people It's the best thing you can do because you can also get like feedback, right? From the people that you trust and bring on people that as well. Even like you said, right? Like talking to the businesses there about like bringing up their social media like presence that's pretty big. It's maybe not something that they've looked to, but something that now they're probably thinking about if you mention it to them, right? They're probably like, maybe like I should, right? Like, and that's just like the power of what you're doing. And so another thing I wanted to touch on was like how you're the economy like in Nicaragua, right? Like I want people to get like in case they're not aware that how the economy in Nicaragua is, because you're doing this also because in a country it's not that easy to just spring up a business, right?
Well, the economy over here is it's a little crazy, right? I mean, we deal with Cordobas is the currency. It's like 35 Cordobas for $1, right? I mean, the money right now it's not like, I'm not gonna we're balling out here, we're making a bunch of money, right? We're not really making much money. I got the people working with me, where you said that I'm big on how do you say, my son knows this word, nepotismo, nepotism.
Okay.
Nepotism. My son knows that word, right? He's 5 years old. I tell people that people are like, wow.
Yeah.
So nepotism, I'm big on that, right? I want the family to be the ones that are working with me, right? So we got the family working. I'm trying to get them paid, make sure that they're got a little bit of money that they could, you know, be with their family.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm looking out for them before I'm looking out for me, right? I ended up leaving a job actually that I had. I was doing real estate. I was looking for leads pretty much, man.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of that job, but that job is boring as hell. You know, I mean, I was passing like 4 hours just looking at a screen, just people hanging up on me and just not even answering machines.
Yeah.
And it was paying pretty good, right? But it was just like, nah, man, like I'm losing time doing something else, right? I could be building something else.
Right. You know, working on your own thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So the economy is all right. You know, I think I got people you know, willing to pay for the services that we have. You know, the delivery is going pretty good. But it is different, right? It's different. I mean, we're not talking dollars or nothing. We're going little by little.
Yeah, definitely. And have you explored? I know you're big into like cryptocurrency and like NFTs and all that. Have you also like, how has that been as a, how do you see like cryptocurrency and NFTs for a country like Nicaragua? And, you know, El Salvador is doing like a lot of things with it as well. So I wanted to get like your perspective being over there. How you see that?
Man, I think that cryptocurrencies is definitely, you know, what is coming. We're still, you know, beginning phases. We don't know what's going to happen. I think it's a dangerous investment. You know, a lot of people just kind of think that, you know, just going to put money in there. I'm going to make money, you know, and sometimes they put money that they can't be losing. Right.
Right.
But I definitely think it's what's next. I think that El Salvador is, you know, doing an amazing job in, you know, everything that they're doing. You know, anybody who's hating on the president really is not paying attention to what's happening. I mean, he's giving computers to everybody in public, all the kids in public schools. Wow. And this is all money that he's making from his investments in Bitcoin. So, I mean, I would love for it to implement over to us, you know, the neighbor country.
yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be, you know, I don't know if you guys are aware of the situation over here, but you know, I don't really like, you know, talking about politics or anything. That's not what I'm about.
Right.
But hopefully, you know, we do get some type of cryptocurrency out here. NFTs, you know, I always say, you know, any artists, all my Latino artists out there, man, if you guys do some sort of art, even if you guys sing, if you guys rap, if you guys, anything that you guys do, man, explore NFTs, because there's definitely money there right now. You know, you gotta take advantage any platform that you got.
I agree. I always say like, what's I mean, you for like NFTs, right? I hear so many people making money from just putting up their whether it's a drawing or whatever art form, right? And listing it, and all of a sudden they get like a bid that they like super high that they weren't even expecting. And I'm like, see that you never know just by posting it. You know what I mean? Like that's something, just try it out, right?
I got a cousin. He's actually he works, you know, graphic art and everything. And I tell him, I every time I see him, I tell him, he's probably like, man, this guy sounds like a broken record, right? But it's amazing to me how somebody could just ignore that, you know, information that is just like in this. And I'm even telling him, like, I'll pay for like the gas fees, right? We'll do, you know, percentage wise something, you know, don't worry about that. And he's kind of just always just brushes me off, and he gets down on drawings, you know, like that drawing that you have right there, you know, he could probably do something like that, you know, and it would be something amazing. And, and I don't know, you know, sometimes you could bring people the water, you know, and they still won't drink from it.
Yeah. Well said. So I wanted to also just kind of ask you what were, and you might've mentioned some of these as well, but what were some of the challenges that you faced, since you started, Familia Assets and Entre Lagos Y Volcanes, and how you've overcome some of these challenges, and how or you're still like overcoming these challenges, right? Yeah. You're listening to the Leo Podcast. I'm Kevin Munoz. This ad break is brought to you by yours truly. If you enjoy the show and are looking to further show your support, and if you already haven't done so, then head on over to patreon.com/LatinaAmericaneo or my website, latinamericaneo.org, to join the growing Leo podcast community and receive numerous benefits and bonus content for supporting your favorite podcast, because the learning doesn't stop with this episode. There's also some awesome merch on my website, everything from shirts to coffee mugs and tote bags. All info will be at the bottom of the show notes. Now let's get back to today's episode.
So, I mean, the challenges that I faced are just technical challenges that, I first I thought, I just got a microphone and I'll go ahead and do a podcast, right?
I know. That's what I thought.
About
That's what I thought.
The editing, the videos, putting them up on all the platforms. And, I didn't think about all the rest of that.
Oh my God.
So that was definitely like a wake up call for me. Right. I'm still working on that. I'm trying to get, somebody out here that, is willing to work with me, that's like a videographer that could do editing and everything. So we're working on that. Just the reaction that I've been getting, from it's tough, man, from loved ones, it could be,
right.
Your spouse, your mom, just reaction is just like, well, really, like, are you really going to do that? Like, what is that about? Like, nobody's going to pay attention. Like, it's just people just quick to give that, negative feedback. Right. And it's, and it could be, detrimental to somebody, it could be like, the end for somebody, right?
It's exhausting. Like, it's mentally exhausting. Yeah.
And, those are the biggest, for me, the biggest challenges that I've had is kind of trying to, have, them see my vision of what I'm seeing, because I'm not worried about right now. Like, I know right now is like, it's cool, like there's not really much movement. But I'm worried like 5 years from now, like what's Entre Lagos Y Volcanes is going to be, what's Familiares.
Hey, you're the one with the vision, right? Like, you're the one that can see where you want to go. And if you follow that path, then you make that a reality, right? That's why I always say it.
Now I'm big on manifestation, man. I believe that, you speak something, you can speak it into existence. And the thing is that, it's the same with negativity. If you speak bad, man, you that's you, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm still, I got a lot of stuff that still are kind of holding me back from doing exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
We're working on trying to get some people that want to invest in some of the things that we're working on, because we're working on websites and everything. So right now what I'm doing is with my little town right now, we're trying to make sure that we have this little town on lock.
Right.
So I want to make sure that this is ready to go. And then we're going to start moving, to different little towns. So we're moving every day, something different.
And what's been your experience with talking to the businesses around, like in your town?
It's been tough, man. It hasn't been easy. Trying to
it's like another challenge,
tattoos, right? I got tattoos. I got a bald head, and and I go to people. They're kind of looking at me like, I'm like, hey, I'm working on a website where we're trying to get all the information of Nandaime. We want to go ahead and help you guys promote your business as well. We're not doing any, we're not charging you anything, because that's the thing. I'm promoting a lot of businesses. We're not charging anything, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, we want to take a picture of your spot. We want to make it look nice. And I even show them, and they're just like, no, man, no. Where's your badge? Well, how come I didn't hear about this on the TV and and this and that?
Because I'm starting out. Like, it's just, I'm just starting out.
That's what I'm saying, but they're just like, a lot of people giving me like, no, like like there's something fishy going on, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just like, I don't need no internet. Like, I only got, I only sell frijoles, or I only sell whatever, vegetables.
Yeah.
But I mean, they don't have that mindset. They could be the best frijoles seller, in Nicaragua. I mean, really, if you're selling frijoles, you got to be, anything that you're doing, I always think, you got to be the best at it,
Yeah, absolutely. And even in such a digital age, even when I went back, first time I went back to Guatemala, after leaving that I could actually go back on a visa that I got approved for because I'm a DACA recipient, so I'm still like an immigrant. I can't travel out unless like special circumstances. But yeah, first time I went back, totally different than when I was like 5, 4. You know, I grew up over there, so I still remember bits and stuff. But I was surprised that like everyone had like a phone and like they had internet on it and they were on Facebook and everything. And I was like, wow. And like I really, you know, I had a whole different, I still had that like picture of when I left. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, okay. I like, you know, this is like not what I had in mind, but it's crazy. That's speaks to how fast, right? Like technology moves in the global terms. So
Right.
it's definitely something that like I said, that you've been highlighting as well. So I'm actually interested to talk more about like the Entre Lagos y Volcanes part, because that's what you're also talking to businesses for, right? So you give tours, and like I want to know what like the mission is and like where you give tours. Like you know, I want to know all about it because I'm intrigued by it.
Right. So, Entre Lagos y Volcanes, like I told you, it was started with activities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we do activities. You know, there's a island that's 2 volcanoes. That you could go. You do kayak. You could do. You know, you could climb the volcanoes. There's a volcano that has lava in there. You know, we got beautiful reserves. It's just everywhere in Nicaragua. We got Corn Island, which Corn Island is Hawaii, you know, economic Hawaii. I always say that people start laughing at me, but look it up, man. Look it up online. Corn Island, Nicaragua. There's beautiful, beautiful island. So we do reservations for everything, right? People could, you know, hit me up and be like, I want to do a reservation to go to Corn Island. And I'll just ask, you know, you need transportation, anything. So we get all that. If, you know, if anybody's coming from the States, we could set up, you know, your car from the airport to the hotel. I mean, we do it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the activities, we rent some cars out. You know, we do delivery services for anything that you need in my town right now in Andaime. It could be, you know, from the pharmacy, from, you know, the mercado. It could be anything, man. It could
Yeah, you
be
do it all.
anything that you need, you know. Un nacatamal. I don't know if you heard of nacatamal
I haven't.
out here in Nicaragua, but I mean,
Okay.
anything that you need, man, we will do the delivery service. And what we're working on is we're working on a page, man, where it could be you could just order anything, you know. It's gonna be
That's
big. I
awesome.
mean,
Just like a home for people to just click through, right? And just
you could
choose
just
what they
order
want.
anything, and
That's
it's
that
gonna
is
be
big.
anything, right? Like I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
milk, you know, fresh squeezed milk from the cow. You know, people over here, you know, we could do the same thing like over there, but we'll just switch it up and do like a
Yeah.
little cultural change thing. So that's what we're working on. We're trying to get all the businesses online.
Mm. That's awesome. I think one advantage that you have is just you being you know in the States and seeing how everything, you know, you whether you knew it or not, right, you were consuming how the infrastructure worked here and how people moved and started a business. And you know, it's of course it's detrimental and unfortunate that the deportation part, but if you've used that and turned it, right, instead of seeing it as a negative, and turned it into a positive, and applied what you've learned and have consumed in the States to now building this bigger thing and bring it to Nicaragua. And
Oh,
that is amazing. So I always want to say, you know,
I
that's not
appreciate it.
easy. So
No, and I mean it's all a matter of mindset, because I mean when I got deported, it was probably the worst thing that ever happened to me at that point, right?
yeah, right.
But then now when I look back, it's like it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because
Yeah.
if I was over there in the States, then I would probably be in the same bubble.
Mm,
You know, I wouldn't be able to think outside the box the way I was able to think, you know, being out here. But definitely everything you know, if that we soaked in all the information that we had from over there, I came and applied it with everything that we're working on over here. And all my jobs really I started thinking a little bit different with jobs too. And anybody who's working a job out there, don't just go, to be working the 9 to 5. I mean, really take time to dissect it, because everything took a lot of time to get to where it's at. Like, I mean, everything that you're doing on your 9 to 5, dissect it and see if there's a way that you can use that towards, your side hustle. And everybody should have a side hustle too, because, that's definitely the way that we've been programmed, man, that work, till you're 65. I don't think that's fair at all, man.
Yeah. Too long, man. I see that. And I'm just like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, that's why, I'm over here doing my own things too, but yeah.
Right.
Oh man. So what would you say is like I want to know what your biggest inspiration is, and just if also what other advice you would have for other entrepreneurs in even just in any Latin American country, right? Well, it doesn't have to just have to be Central America, and even in the States, because it applies to a lot, right?
Man, my biggest what you said, influence? My biggest
influence. It could be influence or inspiration. Yeah.
And my biggest inspiration, man, I would have to say it is Derek Grace, man. I'm Derek Grace too. Whoever's listening, definitely check him out. He just helped me think about the family like a whole different way. Just with my kids, the fact that a lot of the way that we raise our kids is we try to hide them from things, and then we expect, like, at 18 years old is like, okay, now you can go figure out how to be an adult. I'm big on, starting them off, young, 5 years old. I tell my son everything. He knows everything. If he has any questions, he knows. He could come at me and I will tell him, and I'm talking about from sex to whatever. I'd rather be the one to tell him about sex than some other kid.
Hear it from someone else
that's gonna not even know about it and just totally misinform them. So, the other day I was getting into an argument with somebody because my son told him, that he's his own God, and I know that this touches a lot of people wrong. I don't have nothing against any religious or nothing, but what I want my son to know is that he has his own control of himself. He doesn't have to depend on nobody, because it took me 30 years probably to figure it out that I actually have to talk to myself. Right. So I'm trying to see what is going to be like for him to figure that out, ASAP, 6 years old, 7 years old. Like that's, to me, that's mind blowing. So that's a big time inspiration. Go check him out. And just what was the other part of the question?
Just any advice that you'd have for other entrepreneurs.
Any advice? The advice that I got, man, for entrepreneurs is, you got to go tunnel vision, man. You got to just mute out everything else that's around you, because there's gonna be your close people are gonna be telling you negativity, and it could be for somebody who's maybe it could be somebody very, very close to you that's telling you, hey, this probably is not going to work out. If you believe in something, man, go for it, do it. A lot of times we make problems, or not a lot of times, actually 100% of the problems that we make is because we make them ourselves. If we really think about it, there's a lot of things that just could happen and it's not even going to be an issue. Yeah. But go for it. Go for it, man. Whatever you want to do, figure out your purpose, go for it. Tunnel vision.
I love that, tunnel vision. That's what I do too. Always just going for it, regardless of other people telling you that maybe, a lot of people are already doing this, or why are you any different? And it's just like, man, and I'm different because I'm me. Like,
yeah, I mean, for real. But I mean, there's something called I forgot where I read it at. I think it was in Crush It too. It's called imposter syndrome.
Imposter.
And it's real, man. It happened to me a bunch of times, man, where I'm just like, I'm maybe thinking about putting up a video and I'm like, man, maybe it's like, are they even listening to me? But then you got to push past that, man. It's exactly, it's tough, man. It's a crazy roller coaster, you know, like Nipsey Hussle said, though, it's a marathon, man. It's not a race, you know, it's not just like, boom, it's a marathon. We keep going.
I love that. You're so I was gonna ask you what are some things that you do to work on like your mental health, because you're very big on that. But I think you mentioned some is just like reading, right? And then just looking at other people online that inspire you, right? But like what are some things that you do throughout like your day as well that just helps you, you know, get through the day?
Man, I reading, of course, number one, man. If you guys are not reading, then do it. Someone said, man, I listen to audiobooks. That's good too. You know, but I think reading kind of gets deeper into you. I get up early. I get up at 5 o'clock. I go to the gym. That's something that I've been doing too for a while. That kind of keeps me, you know,
grounded,
keeps me going, you know. I after I hit the gym, like I come back, I take a shower, boom, I'm pumped, I grub, and I'm ready to go, you know. So that helps me out a lot. You know, I'm starting to kind of look into yoga actually. I'm doing some like stretches before I hit the gym. That really had me like, man, I stretched some parts and I was like, wow, I didn't even know that I had that muscle right there.
Gotta get zen before you head out. You're gonna pull something, man.
But just doing those stretches, you know, you just you just breathe, and you feel like it clears you out, right? But I think that everything else that you do is like reading first. You got to make sure that you get the information that you need in order to have that self-love. But those are the things, man. Just, you know, getting up early, hit the gym, and just, you know, have my goals. What do I want to do today?
Yeah, no. Okay. I love that. And if there's anything else that you want to tell us or that I didn't mention, this is you go ahead and let's talk about it, right?
No, I just want to say, you know, I appreciate you know, you reaching out to me. I appreciate you having me on your podcast, man. I gotta say, you know, that, you know, I love everything that you're doing out there too.
Thank you.
I think that, you know, it's and I didn't even know that there was a community out here, you know, like this, how it is. And I'm glad that I found everybody. But keep it up. You know, we got to definitely have our community knowing about everything that it is in order to make sure that our family is straight. We got to treat our family, you know, like a team, you know. We got to be wanting that championship. Anybody who's traveling, man, if you guys are looking for a vacation, you know, Nicaragua, the place to be, man. We got beautiful places. Like I said, we got Corn Island. You guys wanting to be at Hawaii, maybe, you know, Hawaii is expensive, man. Check out Corn Island. Definitely hit me up. But man, check out Familia Assets, which is Activos Familiares now, because we changed it in Spanish. We talked about, you know, changing paradigm. We talked about metaverse, and we talked about el machismo, and how it could paralyze a family. Check me out on all my pages, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, tell us where people can find you.
So it's Familia Assets, Activos Familiares in Instagram, ELV delivery, ELV Nicaragua, ELV tours. Hit me
you have
up.
a Patreon as well, right?
We got a Patreon account. It's ELV Nicaragua. Any help is very appreciated.
Yeah, I'll throw all that in the show notes as well for people to have.
Definitely.
No, I appreciate you taking the time as well to come on here and share some of your knowledge that you got over there that you know, I was curious about, and a lot of people I'm sure were. I gotta say I was super thankful like when I saw like the follow from you on Instagram, because I was like, oh, this piques my curiosity, right? Like, you know, right. So I'm glad that you found my account as well as like the community, right? That because there's a whole like online personal finance community that I also didn't know about, and everyone's mindset and approach to money might be different, right? Because money is personal in that manner. how do you, one last question just to close off here is just like, how do you view money and what's your relationship with it?
I think that we definitely need to stop thinking like the money is the root of all evil. I think that our community kind of has money like that's not like a good thing, right? I think that we need to stop putting money up on a pedestal as well. A lot of us, think like money is like the goal. The money is definitely not a goal. We got to start treating it like a tool, and start using it like a tool. That's definitely something big that I've learned. I'm definitely not big on flight clothes or nothing. I'm always wearing like Entre Lagos Y
Oh,
Volcanes.
wait, let me see that. That's nice. I like that. Hey, you gonna have those online too?
We're gonna start. We're gonna start making them. We're gonna start making them. We'll definitely put it up right there.
Hey, let me know because I'll be your first customer.
Awesome.
I love the design.
So yeah, man, we got to stop. Another thing is that we got to stop, trying to please people, and going in debt, it's a big thing, going in debt, trying to please people. Right. So we definitely got to stop that and just sacrifice and live off what you could until you do something.
There you go. Osmar Lopez, everyone. Love that. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please give it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and a follow on Spotify. It helps me tremendously in order to bring more awareness and educational resources to our community. For more information and to stay up to date with what I'm doing, you can follow me on Instagram at latinamericaneo. And if you need more information and resources, you can visit my website, latinamericaneo.org. I'm Kevin Munoz. This has been the Leo Podcast, and I'll see you next time. This podcast is not investment advice, and I am not a qualified licensed investment advisor. All information on here, including any ideas, opinions, views, predictions, forecasts, commentaries, suggestions, or stock picks expressed or implied are for informational, entertainment, or educational purposes only and should not be construed as personal investment advice. Conduct your own due diligence or consult a licensed financial advisor or broker before making any and all investment decisions. Any investments, trades, speculations, or decisions made on the basis of any information found on this podcast, expressed or implied, are committed at your own risk, financial or otherwise.